But did you know that French libertine nudists are seeing a spike in the coronavirus? Yes. According to a local health department, there was a 30% infection rate in people who visited a place for naturalists and libertines. Libertines. Sounds like a French word for people who like to have sex in the woods. Well, honestly, I think the anti-maskers should adopt more French terms. I'd respect them a heck of a lot more if the QAnon folks would call themselves libertines. Sacre bleu, Karen, forget the mask. Just put on some damn pants. Nudists in France. And then, this is a big story. Telling pro athletes to stick to sports really backfired in hilarious fashion this week. The NBA has agreed to turn all of its arenas into polling stations for the upcoming election. Election officials, the NBA, that's National Basketball Association for my non-straight friends. The NBA agrees to turn all of its arenas into polling stations. Yes, between the election officials, the NBA player associations, they came to agreement to let the playoffs continue if they took that action. This is part of the NBA's platform to support social justice, which I think is pretty cool. Oh man, you know what? Thinking about it, maybe the League of Drag Queen Voters needs to stop dragging its sensible 2.5-inch heels and should pledge to turn every dressing room and wig shop into a polling station. Mine's available. Several NBA playoff games were boycotted by the players in the wake of Jacob Blake's shooting by the police. This set off a chain reaction between Major League Baseball, NFL football training camps, college football practices, and even soccer canceled their games. Now, this will drive the conservatives bonkers. Few things they hate more than well-paid African-American athletes who use their platform to tell the world about racism. Just imagine... This is to you, bigots. Just imagine, instead of getting your jockstraps in a bunch of athletes kneeling over the national anthem, maybe if you decided to listen to what they were saying, maybe you'd still have sports to watch. Instead, the pros are taking their apparently big balls and going home. I agree with that. So yeah. The GOP convention happened this week in the White House, which, sort of makes sense. You can't travel very far if you don't have a spine. But during the convention, White House trade advisor Peter Navarro said in an interview that Melania Trump is the Jackie Kennedy of her time. Now, I'm old enough to remember Jackie Kennedy, and I don't recall her doing a nude lesbian photo shoot. I just don't recall that. If anybody has those, send it to me. I'd be interested in seeing. But it should be noted, despite 4 nights of faux patriotism, lies, and false truths, more people watched Joe Biden than Donald Trump. Yeah. On the upside, we did get to see Don Jr. give a political speech with the same energy as a timeshare salesman who buys his drugs from a Tony Robbins convention. I didn't know what he was talking about, but now I have a place to stay in Hawaii for once a week every year. So a lot of people on the internet were a little suspicious of Don Jr.'s eyes during the speech. I'm not saying Don Jr. took cocaine, but I am saying you don't get those kind of wings just from drinking Red Bull. And that was one of our TikToks that we made that's gotten over 84,000 hits.
Just a few short months ago, we were seeing the American dream become a reality for more of our citizens than ever before. What? The greatest prolonged economic expansion in American history.
Thank you, Obama.
The lowest unemployment rate in nearly 50 years.
Yeah.
The lowest unemployment rates ever for Black Americans,
Thanks,
Hispanic
Obama.
Americans, women, and pretty much every other demographic group.
Yeah, that's what Obama did, and your dad screwed it up. How much cocaine did you do? That got quite a reaction on TikTok. Like I said, 84,000 views, and some of them didn't like me taking on Don Jr. Yeah, the word libtard was said a lot. Anyway, back to the convention. Also, no one social distance and very few wore masks. Disgusting. It was just disgusting. But the odds are pretty good that anyone on the Republican ticket could be in the hospital by November. I didn't realize the enemy of my enemy is my friend philosophy applied to viruses. Well, that's this week in Amber's news. We'll talk about more stuff later on.